On this Rosie on the House quick tip, my dog investigates the work area, I fight with the door hinge, and manage to fix it. So you may have a door in your house that's loose. You've noticed that the hinge is loose or it's rubbing against the frame when you open or close it. What we're going to do is show you how to take care of that problem. What's happened is over time, the screws that are installed in here, they've come loose. So what we're going to do to repair the hinge is use longer screws. The longer screws are going to tighten that hinge back up and stop the door from rubbing against the frame. Look at how small that screw is. It's only a 1-inch screw keeping this inside the frame there. This is what comes in the hinge pack when the door's installed. So putting that longer screw in there, it's going to bite into the frame. We're going to get that hinge nice and tight again. Man, the birds are going crazy today. So the screw we're going to replace those small screws with, we recommend typically a 2.5-inch screw. What I've done here is picked an all-purpose screw that most closely matches the finish of the hinge here. One thing that I like to do is just replace a couple of those screws at a time. If I take all 4 of these screws out of the hinge, the whole top of the door is going to want to tilt in on me. One very common thing with these screws that you'll see is we've just ended up with this very large hole in there from that old screw stripping out the frame here. In this case, we do need to remove all those screws. So what we're going to do is we're going to support the bottom of the door so it doesn't tilt away from the frame too much and bend those hinges. So what I'm going to do is use some wooden shims to get underneath that door, get it nice and supported. Now that I've got the door supported, I can go ahead and remove the rest of the screws. What we're going to have to do is make a plug. Now that we've got the screws removed, we can work on putting the plugs in. So to create the plugs for the hinge holes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wooden dowel. What I've got here is a 3/8 wooden dowel. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is widen the holes. I'm going to cut small sections of this dowel. I'm going to put wood glue and put them in, and then I'm going to let it sit overnight, and then I'll install the new hinges tomorrow. It's going to give it a nice solid surface for that to bite into. I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill some holes and install these screws. One tip to getting the hinge in the right spot after you've undone this is you're probably going to have to pull on the top of the door in a little bit. You want to get it right in the pocket where the hinge was installed originally. Success. So now that I've got the plugs installed and that hinge all tightened back up to the frame, that door is working properly now. Thank you for joining us on today's Rosie on the House quick tip. Don't forget to join us every Saturday morning for our radio broadcast. For more information, articles, and quick tips, visit rosieonthehouse.com.